Hello and welcome to Government with Dr. Turner. Today we're going to describe the process of congressional policymaking. There's an old joke about lawmaking that has been making the rounds for more than 100 years. It goes something like this. What do laws and sausages have in common? You should never watch either of them being made. There are several variations of this old saying, but I think its meaning is pretty clear. The process of making laws is messy, and it involves ingredients you'd rather not know about. As much as we would like for our laws to be the product of passionate, intelligent debate about what's best for the American people, they are much more likely the product of backroom deals, big money support, and distasteful compromises. It's not that the system is broken, it just never really worked the way we thought it did. Before legislation can ever see the light of day, someone has to make Congress notice it. This is called agenda setting. Congress is flooded with legislation. They are not bored and looking for laws to pass. Just getting an idea onto their agenda can be a huge struggle. New presidents can add to the legislative agenda with campaign promises. Sometimes a well-publicized event can put issues on the agenda. Members of Congress can push their own ideas. Even special interests, who we will talk about later, can get ideas on the agenda. There is a huge competition to put ideas on the congressional agenda. Next, in order for a bill to be considered for passage, it must first be introduced by a sitting member of Congress. Only a representative or senator can introduce a bill. Legislation is then handed over to the appropriate committee based on its subject. The drafting and redrafting of legislation is done primarily within congressional committees. Most of the hard work of considering legislative alternatives and drafting legislation occurs within congressional standing committees. The majority of bills introduced in Congress do not pass. They usually die by inaction at the committee stage. For example, in 2019, 8,820 bills and joint resolutions were introduced. Only 105 were enacted. It is so difficult for Congress to pass laws because a bill can be defeated at many points in the process. In addition, the requirement to pass identical bills by both houses is difficult because they serve different constituencies and have different rules. Fragmentation in policymaking is also an issue because legislation is broken into pieces and handled by committees. This kind of structure might be quicker, but it makes a coordinated approach to problems difficult. The huge flow of legislation through Congress requires a huge staff. Congressional staff provide expertise and information. Individual members and committees both hire congressional staff. Congress is also served by a set of research organizations to help analyze legislation. In the past, Congress relied on the executive branch for the facts they needed. But the lies told by the executive branch associated with the Vietnam War and Watergate caused Congress to take steps to increase its independence from the information sources of the executive branch. The Congressional Research Service provides research for members of Congress. The Government Accountability Office provides auditing, evaluation, analysis of legislation, and executive departments. The Congressional Budget Office provides economic advice. Let's review. In order for a bill to be considered for passage, it must first be introduced by a sitting member of Congress. The majority of bills introduced in Congress do not pass. They usually die by inaction at the committee stage. It is so difficult for Congress to pass laws because a bill can be defeated at many points in the process.